Okay, hello guys and welcome to another video. Today I'm doing something I haven't done for a long time. I used to do these videos quite a lot. Just because the way life is, I don't really get a chance to see that many films that are being made now in the cinemas. And also the way films are coming out, a lot of stuff is on streaming services, which as much as I don't go to the cinema as much as I'd like to, I think is a bad thing for films. Everything now is so accessible, everything's on Netflix, everything's on Disney Plus. I think there's a strong argument to be made that not great films come out anymore. If you watch 5 new films, you might think a few of them are entertaining, but you'll be like, right, maybe one is a great film. But today I'm doing a movie review on Longlegs, the new horror film. Longlegs, in its core, it's a bit of a callback to the great films of the 90s, especially films like Seven and very definitely The Silence of the Lambs. There are key pieces of imagery in this film where Longlegs is around some sort of desk with a mirror with lights around it. It's identical to the scene of Buffalo Bill dancing with his cock between his legs. When I went into this film, I did think it was going to be awful because Nicolas Cage, he's a legend, but he is very hit or miss with how good his performances are. Especially with horror, I still remember The Wicker Man, fucking terrible film. But Nicolas Cage was kept very much away from the marketing, and in a film that's an indie film and he's the big star, I rate the courage, because initially they probably would have missed out on a lot of people going like, oh, a new Nicolas Cage film, I'll go and watch it. I think the film now, with how much people are talking about it, and this is kind of why I wanted to talk about it, because it is an indie film and Nicolas Cage is the main draw, the more people talk about it, the more traction it gets and the more films we get like this. Because I think this is a very solid film. When I came out of it, I wasn't that sure what I thought of it. It's a simple story. It's an FBI agent is hunting down a serial killer who is committing crime after crime after crime before it's too late. So very reminiscent of Seven and the Silence of the Lambs. But the end, I don't want to spoil all of it, because I think this film, it does give you a few bumps in the road along the way. It does give you a couple of nice surprises. What I would say is the ending for me is probably the weakest part, because it goes a little bit into the supernatural and work for the devil route, which for me sort of takes me out of a film, because I find Silence of the Lambs is one of the few films that has ever terrified me, because it was feasible. Like, yes, the crimes were rare and maybe slightly exaggerated, but it was feasible, and that is terrifying. Someone taunting you when they're keeping you in a well is fucking scary. Whereas Longlegs, for me, it didn't really have that. The opening scene, one of the best uses of camera work I've seen in a long time. Very clever. Some people will be like, oh, it's a pretentious way of, oh, look at us, it's such a different way we're doing it. But I think the half face reveal was really like, it kept you guessing like, oh, what the fuck is above there? When that pops up, it's a jump scare, but it's a creative jump scare. It's not something that is like someone jumping out and like, wow, and some loud music. It's something just comes up on the screen. And for me, that is way more impactful than, oh, let's look who's round the corner, because that's been done to death. Longlegs is a film that I feel like I could talk about in great length, but I don't want to, because this film is something that surprised me. Nicolas Cage is fantastic in this. It's the creepiest I've seen him in his whole career. And it just sort of went back to basics. The story, yeah, it's nothing new, very similar to Silence of the Lambs. And even little things that we don't get anymore. An example that I can give is it's got a impactful, loud, scary music title card.
I'll be waiting.
Something so simple, but you remember in old films like Nightmare on Elm Street, it was like a proper like, oh, when you saw Nightmare on Elm Street on the screen. Longlegs has got that, and the music and the score in this film You can tell it's inspired by things like The Shining, of like these sort. It's more noises rather than music. In the cinema, there's bits where the music builds up, and you're just like, fuck. Like, that is intense. I don't want to spoil those scenes because I think they are surprising. I can't remember a bit in the film where I was like, okay, this is gonna happen next. I didn't call anything. There's some scenes when you fully expect someone to just be in the background, and there's not. It's a great use of suspense. But this video has basically just been an advert for this film. And give my thoughts on what I enjoyed about my experience seeing the film and why I recommend it. And a brief synopsis of the plot. But I don't want to spoil key scenes because I think these are the films that people need to get out there and support, because the horror genre, yes, it's thriving in terms of franchise films and all that, but realistically, they're what's making horror so cliche and so samey. And films like Longlegs just come in and spice it up a bit. And I absolutely love that. And talking of absolutely loving things, I hope you absolutely love my background. This is where I used to record so many of my videos, and we've had to pretty much redo it, but there will be a video coming fairly soon on a full basement man cave tour. Yeah, until then, stay with me if you like Youngblood, Slipknot, films, concert videos, anything that's cool. Thank you for watching this video. Don't forget to like, subscribe, comment down below what you thought of it, and let me know what you think of Longlegs, because I thought it was fucking sick.